girl had to give her a little shove. Like, girl had to bump her a little bit, like bump her out the way. Like,
we about to have fun. You know summer just begun. Party all night until we see the sun. Call up the plug, roll the 3-5 in the blunt. Outside, you know it's gonna be a vibe. Get your camera phone, start the Instagram live.
hey guys, welcome back to another video. What's up, YouTube? Guys, before we start this video, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to hit that little bell to stay notified whenever I post a new video. And also make sure to follow me on my socials to stay up to date with my daily life. This is actually my second time recording this video, but when I recorded the first one I got interrupted, and second I didn't like how my hair looked. I'm trying a new hairstyle, as you guys can see, so not too much, but I had to cut up the Synthetica this morning. But as you guys can tell by the title of the video, this is another story time. Guys, today's story is the time some mean girls try me for real, or some at least wannabe mean girls try me for real. Let's just get into it. This story time takes place in high school. It takes place my senior year. If you guys don't already know, I already graduated. I graduated last year actually. There's gonna be 4 characters that are gonna be pertinent to today's story. We have Tia, we have Regina, we have Gretchen, and we have Dory. So to give a quick description of everybody, we have Regina, which is my main op in this story. She's, as you guys can tell by the name, a mean girl, or at least a wannabe mean girl. She's Hispanic, she has curly hair, and she's like skinny or whatever. And then we have Dory, which is her sidekick, cause like just overly dumb. She's also Hispanic, she has straight black hair like mine, and she got that AirPod build. And then we have Gretchen, which is like she's just not as locked in with the rest of them, which you guys will see when I explain a little bit more in the story. She's a little chunkier. She had like straight poofy hair, right? Pacific type of hair. And that's Gretchen. And then we have Tia, which is gonna be my friend and my twin in them in today's story, the girl who has my back. To give a description of Tia, Tia was a little bit bigger, and she was also Hispanic. Everyone in this story is Hispanic, at least from what I can see. I did have my little moments with Tia too, but as we get into the story, you guys will like see. So that's mainly everyone in this story. So like I said, it takes place in high school, my senior year. We had anatomy, like I was in anatomy, and this happened more towards like the beginning of the school year. I would say a few weeks in. We had a project that was basically drawing the human body. We had this big piece of paper, like probably like honestly my size at this point, probably like 3 to 4 foot. Like it was one of those big like postcard, but it was really like floppy, like you could basically roll it into a scroll. It was a big white paper. We had to draw like the upper half of the human body. We had to label it, we had to color it, we had to draw it. So basically we got to like pick our groups, but it was grouped by like who you were sitting next to. So when the teacher announced this project, like the girls I was sitting next to, they were already like in a group. So I basically go to the back, and that's where I surround myself, apparently unknowingly, with Regina, Dory, and Gretchen. And I just sat next to them. I thought they were pretty cool. I sat next to them so that I could be grouped up with them when it's time for the teacher to like assign the groups. So the teacher assigns the groups and I'm grouped with them. For this project, we basically had like 2 days to finish it. Like 2 class days, not like 2 out of school days, like 2 class periods to finish the project. I know for day 1, it was a lot of back and forth. Mind you, Regina, Gretchen, and Dory, they're all juniors, they're all friends. So as we're trying to do the project, it's like they keep like going back and forth on the design for the like outline, like the actual drawn part of the thing. So they keep, every time someone would draw something, they would erase it, they would say it's ugly, they would laugh, whatever, kiki, you know, like as one does. But basically we didn't get a lot of done in the first day because they kept like erasing stuff, redrawing, and no one was ever happy. Someone always had something to say about it. And then now it's the second day and we still don't have a lot done because they're still, you know, not really getting stuff done. Now mind you, I'm a senior and I'm honestly just trying to get this project done. Typically in a group project, I love group projects because I don't have to do any work.
Y'all pulled up and y'all would see y'all outside.
But the thing is, in this case, like no one was locking in for real. So it was kind of irritating me because I'm not trying to get a bad grade on the project, of course. They kept going back and forth, they kept playing, and I don't know exactly like what happened, but basically like, I guess Dory was like working on a section or something and she was just playing around, whatever. And I had went to like grab the paper to like, you know, like to start actually like working on something and like locking in for real. And she didn't like that. Like she didn't like that. When I had like took the paper, I didn't like snatch the paper from her, but I like took the paper so I could like take it like near me and like work on it. She was working on something and she was like, oh, like I was actually like working on something, like I was coloring, whatever. She said something. And I was basically like I'm doing this, like we gotta like lock in or whatever. And she did not like that. Like I know what I said wasn't nothing crazy. I was basically just telling her to lock in and that like I'm doing this part so we have to finish. And she basically had just made some like sly comment about like, oh, like I was actually working on that, and I was just like, it has to get done. And then that's when I noticed that she was looking to Regina for like, she was just making faces at her, basically like, you know, like looking at me like, oh, like do you just see what she just did, basically, right? And then I'm sitting there, I'm peeping it obviously, and I'm like, I said something about her making faces. I'm basically like, okay, you can make all the faces you want, like, you know, like what is it for real? Because why are you sitting there making faces? I'm trying to complete this project, bro. This is a group effort and we need to get this done, you know what I mean? That was where the beef started apparently for her, because she did not like that. Like she was not freaking with the vibe. Like she wasn't, after that moment it just went downhill from there. Mind you, I'm thinking that these could be cool peoples and whole time these are gonna be my future ops, but obviously I don't know that in the moment. I'm just like, you know what, it is what it is. Like I'm trying to finish this project and you're playing around. Like, sorry, someone has to be responsible. So she could make all the faces she wants. I'm just looking at her like, hey bro, it is what it is. So they're making their faces or whatever, they're all starting to like look at me, whatever. She calls me aggressive, which I don't like, because like obviously the stereotype of like black girls and stuff like that. So that was my first thing that kind of drew me off, or my second thing that drew me off, because I'm like, aggressive who? Like out of all the people here, you want to sit there and call me aggressive because I'm trying to get this thing done. Interesting. Noted.
Okay, well, congratulations on doing the job you're paid for. Oh, I'm gonna hate you. Okay, understood.
So that was that. We end up, I think we had to take a third day because there was multiple like other people who still weren't done with the project, so we ended up needing the 3 days. But we just got it done. Honestly, I don't even think we actually finished it for real. I think we just turned something in, because that's how locked out we were when it came to that first project, because that was the first project of the school year. Cool. So that's the initial beef. That's where it all starts, right? So I'm not sitting with them, I'm sitting in front of them. The way the classroom was laid out was basically like, there were definitely rows on this side and there's row on this side, but there was also a little cluster of chairs towards the back, like towards the right back, and that's where I was sitting. I was sitting in the row before the last row, and they were sitting in the last row. So the three of them were sitting in the last row, and I was sitting in the row before that, and the seat next to me was empty. Like I said, it's probably a few weeks in, and I noticed that when I come, like, you know, they're starting to like look at me, they're starting to like snicker, they're starting to make comments, they're starting to giggle, whatever. And obviously, like, I already know what the vibe is. Now they don't like me because of what happened with the project or whatever, but I wasn't really like doing nothing or saying nothing, because honestly, to me, it was just childish. Like, there was no reason for, like, if you're not a fan of me, just be not a fan of me, but there's no reason to like sit here and make comments and be petty because you didn't like something I did. Mind you, I was trying to finish the project. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna feed into this unnecessary stuff. Plus, I just felt like I'm the type of person that, like, when I escalate, you're not gonna like me escalating. I'm not gonna lie to you. I already told you previous stories of how your girl gets down and how your girl can't get down. Like, it takes me a little minute to get there, but once I get there, it's not gonna be nice, and I'm gonna probably push it too far. So I feel like I'm very like non-confrontational, and I'm very like chilled, and I'll just like observe from a distance, but I'm not trying to engage, because when I do, it's not gonna be cute.
Come, what? Hey, whoa! I am way too unstable for that bullshit.
So I'm just like ignoring them basically. Maybe like a few days later, that's when Tia comes in. Tia, she was new. She came in a little bit later, and I already described Tia. By the way, Tia, she mainly speaks Spanish. So she comes and she ends up sitting next to me, and me and Tia, we start to build a friendship because, you know, I'm looking for friends. Obviously, the girls in the back don't want to be my friend or whatever, and I'm like naturally a more like reserved person. And then she just sat next to me. Honestly, I didn't even think that me and her were gonna end up being friends solely off the fact that she did not speak no English. But me and her, we somehow, sign language, body language, whatever language, you know, nonverbal communication, me and her end up being friends.
Another sign language interpreter accused of signing total gibberish. This time,
because like she's new and I'm open. She spoke a little bit of English, so, you know, we would just like start talking or say little things here and there. Somehow, I'm not gonna lie to you, that girl always found the answers to like everything. Just remember, like, that girl was little low-key like my plug, like my connection, because she would always find the answers to the work, and then she would just do it real quick while I'm sitting here dilly-dallying and playing on my phone, and then she just slides me the answers. I'm like, bro, like, thank you so much, actually. Big appreciate it. So me and her build a friendship. With me and her building a friendship, the girls start not liking her. She expresses to me that those girls in the back are weird. Every time she comes, they're looking at her, they're giggling, they're, you know, just doing whatever. And then I tell her basically what happened. I'm like, those girls don't like me, so they probably don't like you because they don't like me, basically, right? And she was saying that, you know, it's probably because like her weight, like they're making fun of her or whatever. And, you know, Tia, I'm not gonna lie to you, Tia was a very like direct person. She was like very much on it. That's why I liked her in the first place. Like, I actually admired that about her, is how like direct and like on top of your butt that she could be. Like, she wasn't afraid to like say nothing. She didn't hold back at all. She started basically like shit talking like them to me. Obviously, like, I'm gonna give my 2 cents too, because I don't like them either. So we're basically just talking about them. She's making her comments. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, me and Tia were having a ball about them. Like, we were the ish that was ish because it was hot. Like, we were just talking about them, whatever, but that wasn't even our main thing, you know, conversation. But those girls, all they did was like yap in the back. All they did was chirp, like chirp, 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 chirp about us. Every time we rolled in, chirp, 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 chirp. And then they would also talk about a bunch of other random stuff that probably shouldn't be said in a classroom, but that's neither here nor there. So when they would start talking about their, I don't know, their feminine hygiene, Just random stuff. When I tell you, like, they thought that only they can hear it, or that they were whispering or being quiet, but mind you, we're right in front of them, so everything that they talk about we can hear. There was definitely some interesting things that they talked about. Also, Regina, she had a boyfriend, so she was talking about her boyfriend problems and this and that, basically just feeding us stuff to talk about.
3, 2, 1. Some animals give me boners.
That goes on for a little bit. So the situation is that now it's Gretchen, Regina, Dory, they're sitting in the back. It's me and Tia, and there's at this point it's becoming known beef. Like, not, I would say right now it's a cold war. Like, no one's really doing nothing. Everyone's just kind of like cuddled up in their group, but we're not messing with each other, you know. Every time we come in, they're giving us looks, whatever, acting weird, laughing, all this stuff. I know I said me and Tia talk shit, but honestly, me and her, we're just like minding our own business for real. And those girls made comments every classroom, they had something to say. At the time, I was wearing my hair in, like, it was 2 little ponytails, and it was basically like a half up, half down. And if you guys don't know, which you honestly should, just looking at me, your girl's so black. Like, I'm black, so I have, you know, coily hair. I have 4C hair. I'm gonna put some pictures up. Shout out to the 4C hair. Don't let the Synthetica fool you. Your girl has some amazing curls under here. So that's the hairstyle I was wearing at the time. And these girls felt the need to talk about how short my hair was, basically calling, you know, me maybe like a little bald bitch.
And
Like, what the fuck? Like, basically saying that my hair is short and like I look like a boy and whatever, what have you. And that personally, comments like that, because hey, listen, there's one thing to like not like someone, whatever, 2 things to make comments about them that they can hear and stuff like that. But the comments that you're making do say a lot about you, because if you see curly hair and the first thing you think, oh, looks like a boy, you know what it's given? It's given racism. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's given, but there's more to that. This is not just an isolated event, by the way. But first we have, I'm aggressive. Now I look like a boy because I have curly hair. Mind you, my hair is like shoulder length and stuff like that. If my hair was up to here and I was wearing this, if my hair was straight, no one would say I look like a boy with my hair like this. But because my hair is curly, now you want to say I look like a boy. Guys, you have to be like, we're gonna be realistic. There's no bullshit up in this channel, by the way. A lot of you guys have internalized the racism. A lot of you Hispanics you love the black boys, but you do not like black girls. You don't accept black features. So those girls, they were being racist. They were being fatphobic as well. And that's not the only thing that they were being. So when I'm hearing those comments, they are getting under my skin, because now it's like, who you feeling like?
Who are you feeling like?
bro,
Who are you feeling like?
Who you feeling like? Honestly, honest question. I'm honestly asking you, who you feeling like? Like, what do you think this is? Like I said, it takes me a while to like get to the point of like actually doing nothing. And also, I can't really afford to do nothing as a senior. Honestly, I can't afford to do nothing at all point, because your girl has too much to lose. Like, honestly, I'm not a fighter, but if you push me to that point, we're gonna get down. Like, I feel like I go to 0 to 100. I'm like nonchalant, and then I'm like actually violent and aggressive.
I'm really a sweetheart. Hoes be playing with me. And I don't play games with y'all hoes. I don't play games with y'all ratchet ass hoes. I don't play games with y'all ghetto ass hoes. I don't play games with y'all bottom feeder ass, trash bag ass, bottom of the barrel ass hoes. I don't play games. I never played. Bitch. Never played.
But that's neither here nor there. So that comment, I'm looking at her like, well, I didn't look at her, but I was just like, okay. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did start taking notes. I did. I had actually a little note section of all the shit that they would say. I'm gonna see if I can find it. If I find it, I'm gonna put it here. I was just keeping notes, because just to, one, be aware of how much stuff they're saying, and two, like, Because for me, like I said, it gets to a point, like, mind you, this happened at the beginning of the school year and you're still like coming at me like, bro, find something else to talk about, please. And then we end up having like a conversation. Mind you, this is anatomy class. I don't know how we got there. And our teacher was black, she was Haitian. Super funny teacher, love her down. Like, she was amazing. She gets on the topic of the election or whatever. At the time, it was Biden versus Trump. I think they were still like going at it or whatever. We get on like the conversation of that, and basically it comes out that these girls are heavy Trump supporters, like heavy, like they were behind us sitting there repping Trump like he was their dad or something. Like, they were repping that man, like all of them Trump supporters immediately, like emergency. Like, no, actually that's not cute at all. And the crazy thing is that a lot of you guys like did sit there and voted for Trump, like a lot of Hispanics and black people too, and half of you are low-key being deported. So I'm just saying, I didn't make the rules, by the way. Like, I'm just making an astute observation, so it's just interesting to see happen in real life, by the way.
Right, but who can resist this?
So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, bro, who am I dealing with? Who are my ops? Cause like, what's going on, dog? Like, these girls are like just interesting specimens. I'm not gonna lie to you. So me and Tia, we looking at each other like, oh, interesting.
Girl. You're right.
And the interesting, mind you, Tia is like Hispanic as well, so she's not even with it either. I'm black. at least me and her know like what the actual reality is. Like, we're not delusional. We're not delusional as birds, bro. Sitting there doing all of that for a man who's gonna like actually take away your rights for real. Like, you're a girl and you're a woman of color. Please be realistic. Like, but that's not my battle to fight. I can't help you, you know, mental illness. I'm not a therapist, bro. Like, I can't help you with that. Like, these girls are wannabe mean girls, and they're dumb as fuck, like, and they're immature. So we're just basically taking notes of all of this. Me and Tia, we're passing our phones back and forth, basically talking shit, just keeping each other updated. Like, ooh, she said this, oh, that was weird, oh, why did she do this, right? But the tensions are still growing. Like, they're still making their comments, and we're just like peeping everything for real. And we're also talking shit on our end, but we're not like talking shit to them, basically. Like, we'll laugh, we'll giggle, whatever, we'll make our comments, but they were like overly like continuing to like push, if you guys know what I mean. Like, they were definitely the aggressors, if they want to call anyone aggressive. Those girls were just doing way too much. Also, we were playing desk wars, right? So we would try to get there first, because where they sat, they had the charger, like they had an outlet or whatever. So if we wanted to charge our phones, we would have to get there first, because mind you, we're not talking to each other. We're not even cordial at this point. Like, so if we want to sit, like, we want to use our charger, we have to get there first. If we want to sit on our seat, we don't have to get there first. We might just like move their desk back a bit, because it was just very like compressed, right? So obviously they don't like us, we don't like them. One day, right, I told you that the desks were like really packed in. So the thing is, in order for me to get to my desk, I kind of skipped past what I was trying to say, but I'm basically saying in order for me to get to my desk, I have to like scoot in front of their desk, because their desk is like right on our desk. I think I had maybe like went up to get some supplies. I think we were doing like another project or just some work that involved like coloring or like drawing or something like that. And obviously when that happens, the teacher has like their supplies in the front of the class. So if you want to get like some crayons or whatever, this teacher liked to have us like drawing and coloring the human anatomy, the layers of the skin and stuff like that. So I'm thinking what happened is I got up to get some, you know, supplies, put something back. I'm trying to go back to my seat, and there we have Regina in my way. She's in the way of my seat. Now, I already told you guys I don't like her, so please don't be surprised about my actions. So I basically look at her and I'm like, I stand there for like maybe a few seconds. I'm like, excuse me. I didn't say it that loud, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, excuse me. And then she didn't move. So girl had to give her a little shove. Like, girl had to bump her a little bit, like bump her out the way. Like,
I got to do the do.
Honestly, like allegedly, I had to like bump that girl. I had to physically move. Didn't put my paws on her, but I did put I did shoulder check her. So I bumped her out the way to get my desk. Like, I fully like I didn't push her, but I like got her out the way, right? So I sit at my desk. I'm like, I'm trying not to laugh. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm smirking. I'm looking at Tia like, you just seen what I did.
I hate us.
She turns around, bro. This girl is so pissed. This girl is livid, as you guys like to say. This girl is offended that I would dare put my skin on her, bro. So yeah, no, it's like that. So she is pissed, bro. She's pissed.
Yo, I'm not gonna yell.
Whoa, Vincent, are you
She turns around and she's like, basically like clutching her pearls, like, she's like, did you just push me? Oh my God, did you just push me? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I did. And she's basically like, all offended, like, oh my God, I know this girl did not just push me. I know this girl did not just push me. I know this girl did not just push me. She's going back to her seats, you know, obviously her friends and her ganging them or whatever. And I said we're close, we're all like right there on each other. So they all seen it. She's telling her friends, oh, I know this girl did not just push me. Oh, I know this girl did not just push me. Like, getting all like riled up. I'm like, girl, you better pipe down, cause I'm not gonna lie to you. If you think that was a lie, and mind you, I didn't even have to put my paws on you, bro. All I did was a flick of the shoulder, bro. What do you think is gonna happen when I actually like were to clock back and do something to you? Like, if you went flying from a push.
Get the fuck out of the way.
With my shoulder, what do you think is gonna happen if I were to put my paws on you? Like, I was not scared of that girl at all, bro. Mind you, she's a twig, like, actually. You know, I wasn't wrestling, you know, your girl definitely got some meat on her. So just weight wise, like, if things were to go down and things were to go that direction, you're not winning, by the way. Just setting the record straight. I'm sure she knew that too, I'll be honest. I don't think she wanted the smoke for real. She's sitting there getting all riled up. I know this girl did not just push me. I know this girl did not just push me. I know this girl did not just push me, right? And then her friends want to sit there and chime in. Her friend Dory wants to sit there and chime in, talking about some, hey, excuse me, you can't put your hands on my friend. Girl, what do you think this is? Okay, first of all, I can't rewind time. I already did it. And second of all, I would do it again. So I already did it. Like, I'm standing on it 10 toes down. I'm just looking at her like, well, apparently I can, because I did. So why are you telling me that I can't when I just told you that I can?
Do you regret what you did? Nah. Would you do it again? Sure, why not?
They're sitting there in the back barking like fucking chihuahuas. Like, they're sitting there getting pissed. Like, when I tell you these girls were offended that I dared to like actually like check her for real, they were offended, bro. So me and Tia, we're smirking at each other like, bro, who do these girls think they are? And they start talking shit, they start saying whatever, like, you know, coming for my parents or whatever. I don't know if they said anything about Tia, because again, I was the one who like directly, and I was the one they originally had the problem with. So they're saying shit to me or like saying stuff loud enough for me to hear it, right? I think that's when Tia says something. I think Tia turns around and says something to them, like, you know, basically, honestly, I don't know what she said. She probably said something like either one, that they were the ones doing all this the whole time, or two, like that they need to pipe down for real. Now we're starting to go back and forth, and now we're getting loud. Now I'm turning around, they're saying stuff, I'm saying stuff, Tia's saying stuff. Like, now things are getting rowdy. Mind you, this is in the middle of class, so obviously the teacher can hear us. Like, so then the teacher starts to get in, telling us all to calm down, like, you know, like, pipe down, whatever. She's telling the teacher, oh, Geneva's pushed me, whatever, I'm like, pushed? What are you talking about? I wouldn't dare put a finger on you, bro. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. What are you talking about?
What? When? How? Are you sure?
What you talking about? Who pushes, bro? What grade are we in, bro? I'm a senior, bro. What do I look like pushing people? So I'm looking at the teacher like, oh, pushed. Nah, I don't know, bro. I did tell her to like excuse me, and I may have like, you know, like slid past her, but I didn't even touch her. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not gonna lie to you. So the teacher is just telling us all to calm down, right? She's basically telling me and Tia to, you know, turn around. Like I said, what it's like being in the front seat when someone behind you is on some bullshit. You can't clock their tea the way you want to, right? You can't engage the way you want to, in the same way that they can sit there and make comments. You can't turn around and say something to them. So the teacher basically tells us, me and her, to like turn around, whatever, and for them to not make no more comments or whatever. Cool. At this point, like, now the tensions are really rising, because now these girls, they don't like me, right? And now honestly, I'm feeling some type of way, because I'm like, bro, why is things even escalating to this point over something that happened in the beginning of the school year? Like, what is actually going on? It's just annoying, quite frankly. That's what it is. It's annoying. Comments basically are kind of like rising, whatever. How these girls, like, if they were upset before, bro, now they're actually like, I gave them something to be upset about. So they're extra talkative, extra, bro. Also, by the way, at this point, I am plotting on them. Like I was thinking, like, how can I get this girl? Because at this point, me and you need to fight. Me and you need to draw pause. Like, I'm being so dead ass. When school ends, follow her to her next class, know her schedule. Like, where can I actually like get her for real? Like, anytime I would see her, like when I'm like leaving school or whatever, like I'm like, damn, did I just go find her, see how she leaves and get her? Like, like, I'm not even playing, bro. Because if I got away with a push, what else can I get away with? I'm trying to test that. But the thing is, also, I'm a senior, so I'm actually grateful. That's the main, also another thing that was holding me back, is because I'm a senior. So of course, seniors have senior activities. I'm not trying to lose any of my activity over this girl, you know what I mean? Over some immature juniors. Me and Tia, I think we probably tell the teacher like what's been going on, and then I think she tells us something like, she tells us to ignore them and like to tell like the counselor or something, like, you know, like that it's not really for her to like fix. So me and Tia, we end up going. I think Tia was actually the one who was pushing to go. I wasn't even gonna go, but I think Tia was actually the one like pushing to go, because Tia was saying that they were being racist and stuff like that, and like that, you know, that they shouldn't be able to do stuff like that. So me and Tia end up going to the principal's office. Yes, snitch, you snitch, snitch.
Y'all be safe. You know 12 out here. You know 12 out here.
Call me whatever, bro. I don't care. Like, I'm not fighting you, bro. I'm not. Like, well, I might, but like, in a lot of cases, I'm not losing whatever I got going on because you want to be petty, bro. And also, it's just like, I'm sorry, bro. There's a mature way to handle things. I'm not about to do too much for something that can be fixed.
Wait till we get outside. I'm gonna knock you. I called the cops. The white ones. By the time you get to your trunk, I'll be pointing at you saying him right there. Officer Bradley, I told on you. Brother, sister. Oh, well, Josh, you a snitch, bro. Look around, Darius. Do I look like the kind of guy to follow hood rules? I'm from a gated community. Where I'm from, that's just called passing on valuable information. Criminal? Oh, well, do you know where I'm from? No, but I know where you're going. To jail. You tried to assault me, brother.
So we ended up going to the principal's office and basically, you know, just laying it on thick. Like, oh, these girls have been being racist to us, and these girls been doing this and making comments, and they talk about Tia and da-da-da, and they talk about me da-da-da, and they're making comments like this, and they're making comments like that, da-da-da, right? Cool. So we're telling the principal all this. Honestly, he's like shocked to hear it. I don't know, for some reasons, principals always think that nothing be going on in their school, bro. Like, I'm sorry to inform you, but a lot of your students are assholes. Like, I'm sorry to like let you know, but like, yeah, racism, yes, racism, yeah, people in your school, yes, bullying, yes, fight, like, I don't know, bro, they always act so shocked. I'm like, yes, but mind you, he was Hispanic, so, you know, not saying that he's never dealt with racism, but like, it's a little different. That's all I'm gonna say. So he's in there shocked, like, what, those girls, like, da-da-da, right? So I think he tells us, or he refers us some way, somehow, to like the actual person, a counselor or whatever. This person basically just deals with like student affairs, so drama, student infighting or whatever. This is what that person, like, what this guy deals with. So we end up telling him what's been going on, and then he says that he's gonna call those girls like out of class to bring them in so that we can all talk. I'm not gonna lie to you, when he said that, I'm like, damn, like, this is getting like, actually, like, we're actually about to be in front of a judge, bro. He puts us in a separate room, right? We talk to him, we tell him our side of the story, basically that these girls have been fucking harassing us for like the last fucking month for no reason under the sun, and being racist, yes. And then we basically tell him that, and he has us in another room, like within another room, and he brings the girls in. They also don't know why they're being brought in. He asks them their version of events, and they tell him whatever sob story that they end up coming up with. I don't even know what the fuck they said, but I know that they, you know, some of them started crying and getting emotional and doing this, that, and the third, like they weren't the fucking aggressors, bro. Like, what? Honestly, me and Tia, we don't care, bro. Like, we're just looking at, like, but we're hearing it mainly. So he ends up all bringing us into the same room. The room was small, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was his desk, it was the three of them, and it was like the two of us in two chairs that we brought in. Mind you, I don't know if I said this already, but Gretchen, like, because she wasn't as like pretty as them, she, to be fair, didn't play as big of a role. But I truly think that just because they didn't, like, they were not freaking with her the same way that they were freaking with each other, if that makes sense. Basically like Mean Girls, like, you know, you can't sit with us, like,
because that's what's disgusting. You can't sit with us.
like, they were basically a fake friend to her, and she was just joining in because that was her only friends in those classes, which isn't a good way to make friends. I'm not gonna lie to you. You gotta choose a little better. I know a lot of you be doing that, but that's neither here nor there. So she wasn't as aggressive as the two of them for sure, but she was still laughing at the comments that they were making. Now it's time for the court to be in session, so we're all, you know, like talking. He's just asking questions or whatever. He's asking questions to basically like to get to know what actually happened for real, and he's basically saying that like one of us are lying, or me and Tia, and we had our notes. Oh my god, bro, when I said we were keeping notes on them, like we were actually keeping like a catalog of comments and stuff that they were doing to us, and this went on for like almost a month. So we had like an actual list, like we showed him the list of like stuff. And it was also weird because I understand like there's only so much like someone like that can do, but like when we would tell him like, oh, they made racist comments or whatever, he basically told us like, oh, just because they made that comment doesn't mean they're racist. Does that make sense? Like, basically, if you were to say, if someone were to call someone a racial slur or whatever, and you were to like say that happened to you, a normal person with common sense would say that person was being racist to you. He's talking about well, that doesn't mean that they're racist. Like, that doesn't mean, just because they said racist thing doesn't mean that they particular themselves are racist. That's not enough proof to say that they're racist, which I'm saying, that does make sense in a sense. But the thing is, racial comments shouldn't be shouldn't be something that, you know, is okay. But also, they didn't say nothing too crazy, so I can kind of see where he's coming from, to be honest. Because when I told him about what they said to my hair, he was like, oh, you know, they could have said that with any person's hair. Mind you, they wouldn't have, because like I said, if I had a straight bob right there, they wouldn't be saying that about my hair. But because of my hair is coily and my hair, you know, is tightly curled, now you're making comments about that. I look like a boy. Like, let's be for real, actually. Like, let's actually be for real. But he wasn't being for real. He was living in the Lulu land like the rest of them. He's disputing some of our comments, disputing some of theirs, right? Also, when I'm telling my story, like, I almost slip up. I'm not gonna say you, because my story was basically about, the final thing was the quote unquote the push, right? And what caused the whole, like, you know, the whole ruckus that happened in the classroom, right? Which is the main thing that we were talking about, right? We were talking about the comments that built up, but like also the main ruckus, right? So I'm telling the story of what happened. He asked me, okay, so what happened, right? I'm like this basically. I'm like, yeah, so like I had said, excuse me, I was trying to get to my seat and I had said excuse me, she did not move, and then I I sat back down on my seat. Bro, your girl almost told on herself. Like, when I say I almost told this man that I done pushed this girl, but at the last second my brain locked in and said, no, I sat down, bro. Like, I didn't push her, I didn't touch her. So, and I don't know how he didn't get that. I don't know if he was just turning a blind eye, but your girl almost told on herself. But I was just like, oh, like, I didn't touch her, whatever. And then, mind you, they're sitting there getting all like crying, and not like full on crying, but they're like just being all dramatic and stuff, right? But also, it was so unserious at the same time, because they were kind of laughing, we were kind of laughing, but it was just a lot. Like, it was definitely giving frenemies up in that room, but it was just a lot, right? So honestly, the final verdict or whatever is that, one, that they were the aggressive ones. He basically dreaded them. He was like, if they come back and they say that you guys have made any more comments, like if you guys ever make a comment, basically, like if they ever come back and tell me that you guys are making comments, I think that they were gonna get expelled or something. Like, they were gonna get, you know, removed from school or whatever, right? And then me and her basically got off the hook because we didn't do nothing. So like, they don't have nothing to say to us, except for the alleged push, right? So I was satisfied. I thought the like punishment should have been worse. Like, I wanted them to get suspended for like more days. He was threatening them with the like 3 days. I'm like, nah, bro, kick him out. I don't care, like, kick him out of school. I'm being so serious. Anyways, that's basically what ends up happening. They're not allowed to make any more comments. Me and Tia go on about our way, and they go on about theirs. And I would love to say for the rest of the school year they didn't make no comments, but that unfortunately wasn't the case. Like, actually a few days after that incident, like, of us talking, they made one more comment. I think they had to say one more thing, and basically the one more thing they had to say is, I had some pills in my bag and I had my bag open, and they basically said, oh, she does drugs. Bro, do you see the type of pettiness I'm talking about? Like, what are we actually talking about, bro? When I heard that comment, I was just like, bro, you really don't got nothing else better to do. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you don't have nothing else better to do. So I just ignored that one, because for most of the school year, they, like, after that, they didn't have nothing to say. Like, when we seen them, they just kept to themselves. Like, they didn't got nothing to say. Well, I'm sure they had a lot to say. I'm sure they had even more to say, but I would have ran back there so quick. So good job for you not to say nothing, and also stop being annoying. But also, I ended up like changing seats and meeting now a good friend of mine, actually has the same name, Tia and Tia. If you guys are watching this, you guys know who you are. But yeah, so that was basically the story. Like, those girls were just annoying, like, just overly annoying, bro. and I wish more would have happened to them. But I'm glad I didn't do nothing to lose my senior activities and stuff like that. Obviously, I successfully graduated. Let me know what you guys think, because I did say a lot of opinions in this video. Let me know if you guys agree with them, which you should, or you're getting blocked in the comments. I'm joking, kinda. So let me know what you guys think. You think I was in the wrong? You think they were in the wrong? What do you think about their behavior? What do you think about my behavior? What would you have done? I'm sure we all have dealt with some mean girls. So what do you guys think? Like, what would you have done in that situation? The girl obviously trying out a new hairstyle. What you think of it? What you think of it? I'm still a little crusty. Oh, not too close, but I'm still a little crusty, dusty, musty. Obviously, I'm not used to this, whatever this is, right? Make sure to follow me on my socials. That is all for today's video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.